All right, today we're jumping into a really cool mythic prologue that asks a pretty fundamental question. So, what happens when the absolute drive to know everything collides head on with the desire to destroy it all? We're about to see what happens when total order and primal chaos get smashed together, and man, it reveals a lot about ambition.
We're actually going to start this at the end with the story's final chilling warning. This one line, it just sets the stakes for everything we're about to get into. It's a cautionary tale about an ambition so huge it ends up consuming not just its creators, but, well, reality itself. So, how did we get here? Let's dive in. So, at the heart of this whole thing, you got these two ancient opposing spirits. On one side, there's the spirit of infinite order. Think of him as the ultimate archivist, just obsessed with cataloging every single truth in existence. And on the other side, the spirit of primal discord, a cosmic dancer who sees breathtaking beauty only in total, absolute destruction. But here's the thing, this wasn't just a simple rivalry. Their conflict was more like this: cruel cosmic dance. One existed to build this grand library of all existence, while the other found her entire purpose in tearing it all down. So in a really strange, twisted way, they actually gave each other meaning. Okay, this slide really gets to the heart of their conflict. On one side, you've got the spirit of order. He's relentlessly driven to catalog and control everything, what the text calls the all. And then on the other side, you have discord. She's the embodiment of the not I. She is that chaotic impulse to just undo creation. And get this, it's not even about simple malice. For her, there's a kind of sheer, terrifying beauty in all that ruin. All right, let's zoom in on our first character here, the priest of structure. I want you to imagine the ultimate librarian, but on a cosmic scale. A being whose entire existence is dedicated to making reality perfect, predictable, and totally silent. And here he is, in his own words. His mission is crystal clear, isn't it? To get rid of all ambiguity, all of that messy, chaotic noise, by filing away every single truth. He's trying to build an architecture of reality that's so perfect it can never, ever crumble. So this gets us to his core philosophy, this idea called ontological anchoring. It's this pretty radical belief that if you can just name, define, and catalog every single thing in the universe, you can basically lock it into place forever. You can master existence itself just by getting rid of all its mystery. A pretty bold idea, huh? And his whole look, it's a perfect reflection of this obsession. I mean, his robes aren't just clothes. They're basically a physical manifestation of pure logic. Every single seam is perfectly symmetrical, and every fold follows the divine golden ratio. The guy himself is a walking monument to a system that has absolutely zero room for error. Well, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? So now, let's meet the spirit of primal discord. She's the agent of chaos, the living embodiment of a spilled inkwell on a perfectly clean page. Man, I love this introduction. She literally defines herself by what he isn't. She's the chaotic impulse, the not I, that actually gives his whole quest for order a purpose. I mean, even if that purpose is just to be a target for her destruction. Her philosophy is just this terrifying flip side of his: epistemological entropy. And this isn't just about creating chaos. It's about the active, intentional erasure of knowledge. She doesn't want to rearrange the library. She wants to burn it to the ground so no one can ever read again. What's so striking here is the stark contrast to order's perfection. Her robes are described as a shifting Rorschach test of just splatter and rot. She literally trails threads of broken logic behind her. Essentially, she wears the void itself as an outfit, a complete visual mockery of his pristine, logical structure. So for ages, this stalemate just held. Order built, discord destroyed. Back and forth. But then, something happened that completely shattered the balance. A bizarre ritual, described as an act of both forbidden logic and desperate humor, forced these two opposites into one. So, here's how it all went down. The alchemy of their ruin. That stalemate was shattered by this twisted ritual, fusing them into a single monstrous being. And the spirit of order, in all his arrogance, had a massive goal for this new form: to use their combined power to absorb all the knowledge in the universe and finally achieve that ultimate control he was after. But as you can probably guess, this grand ambition got corrupted almost immediately. The new being's entire purpose was twisted from this, noble, if arrogant, pursuit of knowledge into its total and utter annihilation.
And this brings us right to the story's critical turning point. The Spirit of Order was convinced that power came from having absolute knowledge. But his other half, the Spirit of Discord, well, she had a very different idea. And there it is, the shocking realization at the heart of the story. Discord understood that true ultimate control didn't come from being the smartest one in the room. No way. It came from being the only one in the room who could remember anything at all. And with that one realization, the entire mission was subverted. That powerful tool they created to absorb wisdom, it got weaponized. It was turned outward to siphon history, memory, and meaning from the entire world, transforming that great library into what the text chillingly calls a slaughterhouse of memory. The aftermath wasn't some enlightened universe, it was a lobotomized one. They had set out to create a god of wisdom, but instead, they became the architects of a completely empty void. In the end, this monstrous being, this fusion of perfect order and perfect chaos, it just couldn't sustain itself. In its quest to erase all knowledge, it ended up consuming its own mind, leaving behind only this pervasive rot that destroyed the very ability for anyone to think. I mean, just look at the cost of their monstrous union. A world completely stripped of its past, where the very act of reading has been forgotten. The great libraries are in ruins, and the greatest minds are now just empty shells. It's just total intellectual devastation. And so the story leaves us right here with this final, haunting image. The pursuit of absolute knowledge, when you combine it with the love for destruction, it doesn't lead to enlightenment. It leads to a universe of silent, forgotten halls, where the only thing left is the echo of a madman's laugh. It's a chilling question to leave us with, right? What is knowledge without the wisdom to control it?